Most Christians think they're waiting on God, waiting for Him to open the door, waiting for Him to answer the prayer, waiting for Him to give a sign. But what if the truth is, God's been waiting on you the whole time? We talk so much about God's timing, but sometimes we use that as a spiritual excuse for our own hesitation. We say, "I'm waiting on the Lord," when in reality, He's already spoken, already prepared, already opened the door, but we haven't moved. Think about this. Every miracle in Scripture required movement. God parted the Red Sea, but Moses had to raise the staff. God brought down Jericho's walls, but Israel had to march. Jesus healed the lepers, but they had to start walking before they were cleansed. Faith isn't waiting in fear. It's moving in trust. Sometimes the delay you're re-experiencing isn't divine timing. It is divine patience. God is waiting for you to take the first step. Let's go back to the story of Abraham. God promised him a nation, descendants as countless as the stars. But that promise didn't begin until Abram left his home. God said, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." He didn't show Abraham the destination. He just said, "Go." That's the kind of faith God's waiting for. Faith that moves even when the map isn't complete. Too many of us want to see the entire plan before we start walking. But faith doesn't work like that. You won't see the next step until you take this one. And sometimes, God's silence isn't punishment. It's a test of trust. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? She didn't wait for Jesus to come to her. She pressed through the crowd, weak, desperate, bleeding, but determined. And the moment she reached out and touched his robe, Jesus stopped and said, "Your faith has made you whole." That's what happens when you stop waiting for God and start moving toward Him. Here's what we forget. The Bible never says, "Stand still until God moves." It says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." James 4-8, in other words, you move first. Sometimes God is waiting for your obedience before He releases His next instruction. He's not holding back your blessing. He's holding it ready, waiting for your movement to activate it. Think of Peter in the storm. He saw Jesus walking on water and said, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come." And Jesus said one word, "Come." The power wasn't in the word. It was in Peter's response. Peter had to step out of the boat. Only when his foot touched the water did the miracle begin. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people are praying for things they already have permission to pursue. They're asking God to confirm what He already commanded. You don't need another sign. You need faith to move. You've been waiting for the right time, the right opportunity, the right feeling. But faith doesn't wait for comfort. It moves despite the discomfort. When God told Joshua, "Every place your foot shall tread, I have given to you," He meant that the ground doesn't belong to you until you step on it. You're not waiting for God to move the mountain. He's waiting for you to speak to it. Remember Jesus' words in Mark 11:23. "If anyone says to this mountain, 'Be removed and cast into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart, it will be done." Notice, He didn't say, "If anyone waits for me to move it." He said, "If anyone speaks, your authority as a believer isn't passive. It's participatory. God works with your movement, not your hesitation." Let's make this practical. Maybe God gave you a vision, a business, a ministry, a dream, but you're scared to start. You keep saying, "I'll begin when the time feels right." But here's the secret. The right time doesn't exist. Faith creates the right time. Or maybe you've been praying for healing in your heart, for freedom from something that's been holding you back. But instead of stepping into forgiveness or letting go, you keep replaying the pain. You say, "I'm waiting for God to heal me." And God says, "No, I'm waiting for you to release it." He's already given you the tools, His word, His Spirit, His promises. Now He's waiting to see if you'll use them. There's a moment in Exodus where God literally says to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move forward." That's what God might be saying to you right now. Stop praying about the same thing you've already received instruction for. Stop circling the same mountain of indecision. Move. Faith is forward motion. Fear freezes you in place. When you move, God moves with you. When you act in faith, heaven backs you up. So if you feel stuck, maybe it's not that God's withholding your breakthrough. Maybe He's waiting for you to step into it. He's waiting for you to forgive, to surrender, to start, to believe again. You don't need a new word from God. You just need to obey the last one He gave you. And here's the beauty of it all. The moment you move, you'll realize God was never far away. He was right there, waiting, ready to walk beside you the whole time. So here's a question for you today. What if you stopped waiting for God to change your circumstances and started allowing Him to change you? Because the truth is, you're not waiting on God. He's waiting on you.